I just got this pedal today, and I'm still trying to figure out its mysteries. It's kind of trippy, isn't it? Are you trying to say something, mister?
It sounds...
Oh.
I say it sounds like kind of warbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-in-1 pedal. It's called the Electric Mistress. So here's the first pedal. It's called a flanger. And then here's the second one. It's called a chorus pedal. And then when you combine them together, you get this kind of funky sound. Was that warbly enough for you?
I think so.
Yeah, it's funky. I like it. It's a funky pedal. Like, this thing, it was sold to me on the fact that it has a flanger on it, because I just wanted one. However, the chorus pedal was also very nice to add on. Welcome to the last show of the year, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Ryan, and I'm a schmo.
And I'm Chiral, and I'm a schmo.
And welcome to the 2024 review. What a year. What a year it's been.
It's been a weird one.
Yeah, it's been a weird one. Fuck. How's your week been, Chiral? Did you have a Merry Christmas?
I think it's safe to say I did. It was pretty busy. Lots of stuff going on. Had family over, lots of cooking, but I think it all worked out nicely and ended up being a pretty good time. I was really glad that obviously it was above freezing, but it didn't warm up so fast that it didn't feel like winter, you know? It wasn't like it is now where it's all misty and foggy and gross. It was still pretty wintry.
I like to call that this Christmas that we got like a peppermint Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
Not exactly white, but not exactly green. Nice minty aftertaste.
How was your holiday?
You know, it was pretty rad. I have another one coming up tomorrow, which is why we're recording this one at night. But regardless, I think it's been pretty cool. We got this nice little portrait of Houdini. I should have put it in the thumbnail for this video.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, in fact, I want to share it with you because you're my buddy. 1 second. I also got like 1 million books, but that's like on point for me any year. Where are you, you funky little cat? Scooby-Scub. There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very dapper.
It's a very dapper portrait of my cat. For those of you not in the know, it is kind of like him as an old Napoleon-esque wartime figure. In fact, I might just put it in the thumbnail right now.
Reminds me of the Master and Commander opening text.
Oh.
It's like April 1805. Houdini is master of Europe, and the British fleet's name, but, you know, it's Cat, of course, instead of Napoleon.
Of course. Here we go. I also got to watch the Doctor Who Christmas special. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Very nice. Glad that they're still doing that. I'm always worried that just with the new management, they're gonna go and like fundamentally mess up something with Doctor Who, where it's like, oh yeah, we forgot to do a Christmas special this year. Sorry.
I mean, that's kind of what they did with the Jodie era, which is sad, but
Yeah.
oh well. There he is. There's my cat. Okay. Fuck. It's been just a mild week because of the holiday.
Mm-hmm. It's gone by quick.
Hasn't it, though? I really wish it didn't. Because now I'm going to feel old. Dude, it's going to be 2025, and that means 10 years since we started college.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make me feel so fucking old.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was looking through some of my just liked music on YouTube. That's how I used to do my show that I would do, where I would just like find new music and I would add it to my liked music playlist, and then I would rip that to play on the show later. And I was looking at some of it, it's like, oh my god, this is almost 10 years old. What the hell?
Well, I think it's just also because, we lost like 2.5 years to COVID.
Kinda, yeah. But there was a lot that did happen this year. And I figure we're probably going to use this as a bit of a roundup for the movies, at least, that we had this last year. We've got both the Golden Globes and the Academy Awards. Is that the other one? Yeah, the Academy Awards nominations, I believe, both got sent out. There's the Academy Awards. Oh my god. Sorry. Quick tangent. I was complaining about how bad the Golden Globes website was, the first links to their nominations for their award show in like a week and a half.
Okay.
And not to be outdone, the Academy Awards have just gone and one-upped them.
How so?
Do you want to take, like, maybe this is just weird search engine optimization. I hope it is. But for whatever reason, if you just Google Academy Awards 2025, the first page that comes up is the 97th Oscars short list in 10 awards categories announced. This is posted over a week, like over 10 days ago. It's not even recent, but it's like all documentary stuff. It's like, what is going on here? Why are the first things you're showing me documentaries and not like the actual awards that people want to go and see? What are you doing? But yeah, we got some award shows to go through and go through some of our own picks for this last year.
God damn. Fuck. Okay. Award show number 1. Which one do you want to do?
I think we start with the Golden Globes.
Okay.
What is going on?
Are you having tech problems?
I'm just very confused because I'm on the. Maybe I'm just getting something else mixed up. But if I am getting something else mixed up, then the Oscars webpage is still just really dumb. Yeah, no, okay. That's what I thought. Maybe? Because I'm on the Oscars webpage, and you can go to just Oscars.org for their 2025 nominations, but it's all of their 2024 nominations still. I'm very confused as to what the hell I'm looking at.
I'm not sure.
Because like it has Oppenheimer crap all over the place. It's like, wait, that doesn't make sense. That's way wrong.
I remember Oppenheimer as if it was yesterday.
Yeah. But we'll just go. I mean, we looked at them last week very briefly because we talked about a couple of them that were like, what the hell is this doing here? We'll just go with the Golden Globes. The lists are basically the same. So, Golden Globes, Best Motion Picture Drama, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, September 5, and The Brutalist.
Dune Part 2 is this year. Holy fuck.
Right? I had that moment I was watching a YouTuber's like top 10 from the last year, and I was hit by that too, where they're like number 3 or something was Dune Part 2, and I had to do a double take. It's just like, wait a minute.
That was
That
like the
can't have been this year.
first good movie of the year.
It really was. I'm curious. I think I have heard of most of these. Nickel Boys is the one that I'm not sure on. But it sounds really familiar. I'm wondering if I'm getting it mixed up with another movie. But I don't know. Oh, that's very strange. No, I'm not. I am getting it mixed up with another movie, but I do believe I have heard about this one. So yeah, we can just sort of generally go through these. A Complete Unknown is one of the ones that we talked about last week, where it's just like, why the hell is this here? You nominate it before it even released.
That's how concrete they are with it.
That's how sure they are. And we'll talk about it a bit later, but the scores for it seem to back that up a little bit, on the audience side at least. Not quite the critic side stacking up to the rest of the competition, but still overwhelmingly positive. Conclave, I've talked about this one. Saw it twice. Yeah, Ralph Fiennes, excellent. I will be very surprised if it wins anything, but I'm pleased to just see it getting recognized. It seemed like a film that was made very earnestly just to exist for what it is, and to see it get recognized all the same, very cool.
Nice.
Dune Part 2? It's Dune Part 2. Everybody's seen it at this point. I'm actually curious where it is on box office numbers right now, because I hadn't really... it was so long ago that it's practically fallen out of the popular consciousness already, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, Dune Part 2, very good. Nickel Boys was the one I had to look up. So this is a 2024 historical drama based on the 2019 novel of the same name by Colson Whitehead. Story follows 2 African-American boys, Elwood and Turner, who are sent to an abusive reform school called the Nickel Academy in 1960s Florida. The film is inspired by the historic reform school in Florida called the Dozier School for Boys, which was notorious for abusive treatment of students. Shot in a first-person point of view, filming took place in Louisiana in late 2022. Premiered at the 51st Telluride Film Festival in August 2024 and had a limited theatrical release by Amazon MGM Studios December of the same year. Nominated for Best Motion Picture Drama at the 82nd Golden Globe Awards, and 5 nominations at the Critics' Choice Awards, including Best Picture. Yeah, I saw exactly 1 trailer for this, and the implementation of the first-person point of view is very interesting, and I hope people will be able to do some like more technical breakdowns of how it works and how it doesn't. But like the only other reference point for pure first person POV in film is like, what the hell is it, like Die Hard Henry or whatever?
I was about to say, Die Hard Henry died so this movie could walk. For this movie to crawl.
Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. But the way that it was used in the trailer that I saw was very creative and lands with a lot more intention and emotion than you get from what was pretty much entirely just a dude with a GoPro.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Other nominations, September 5. This was another one that we talked about last week. Set on the ethical complexities faced by journalists during the 1972 Munich Olympics hostage crisis, focusing on an American sports broadcasting crew as they navigate the unprecedented decision to broadcast the unfolding hostage situation involving Israeli athletes.
I have. This one. Yeah.
Yeah, the reviews for it were kind of mixed in that it is technically very good, but a lot of people criticized it for falling short on actually handling the ethical side of the situation that happened. Final nomination, The Brutalist, directed by Bradley Corbet, epic historical drama that chronicles the journey of Laszlo Toth, a Hungarian Jewish architect played by Adrian Brody. After surviving the Holocaust, Laszlo immigrates to post-war America with aspirations to rebuild his career and life alongside his wife Erzsébet, played by Felicity Jones. Their fortunes take a pivotal turn when a wealthy industrialist, Harrison Lee Van Buren, played by Guy Pearce, commissions Laszlo to design an ambitious, modernist monument. This opportunity propels Laszlo into the upper echelons of American society, but also exposes him to profound personal and professional challenges. Spanning over 3.5 hours, the film delves into themes of ambition, identity, and the complexities of the American dream, offering a visually striking and emotionally resonant narrative. An extremely pretentious film. I would not be surprised to see this win. We talked about this one briefly last week too, I believe, where the main highlights for it are that it is, while being 3.5 hours long, which is a hell of a thing in itself, it features a baked-in intermission to the runtime, if you see it in its theatrical release, and it was shot entirely, I believe, in 90mm film, I want to say, in like 4:3 aspect ratio. Very, very unique, but for all of the pretense surrounding its creation, you know, it's A24, go figure. It seems to manage to live up to that with the actual filmmaking that's taking place and career high performances from Brody and Pearce, as well as phenomenal work by Felicity Jones. So, good stuff to be seen here. I'm actually curious if this one is still in theaters by me. Just the novelty of going and seeing... Doesn't look like it. Going and seeing a film with an intermission in a theater would be incredible in the current year.
What are you talking about? We're currently in the intermission for Wicked, good sir.
Wide release is expected sometime in January, so that is a new. Not yet, at least.
Fair.
But again, I feel like that is so much of my takeaway from this. Maybe that's unfair. Is that, let me double check, September 5. A Complete Unknown was a Christmas release.
Yep.
September 5 did not release on September 5. I believe it was... Okay, no, this was August 29th, so it actually was pretty close to September 5. Full props to them. Oh, no, sorry. I wasn't mistaken. That was a limited release date, you bastards. Actually released December 13th. So we've got December 25th, December 13th, Nickel Boys... Like, I think Dune is the only one of these that had a wide release. When was Nickel Boys' wide release? Yeah, Nickel Boys again, Film Festival in August, wide release December 13th. Conclave was in October, I want to say, but I'm going to double check it. Wide United States release, October 25th. And then we had The Brutalist, which technically doesn't have a wide release at all yet. You had to go to a film festival to see it. So, yeah. The fact that the second... I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily fault any of these films' inclusions, and I would hope from the people who are doing the critical work to make these nominations would have done the, you know, it being their jobs to see these at the festivals to make and inform their decisions. But it sure looks like there's some recency bias, you know?
I feel
what
that.
The hell?
Yeah. Like, I feel like the pattern I'm seeing here is like they have these very isolated release schedules just to make their own like participation in consuming the media feel kind of fancy. You get that vibe?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little
the fact that
exclusivity.
half of them only released in the last 2 weeks, and of the rest, one of them hasn't even had a wide release yet.
Yes.
Very strange.
This is fucking weird.
Next category, Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. Nominees are A Real Pain, Anora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, The Substance, and Wicked.
It's gonna be Wicked, dude.
I think, see, the weird one of this is definitely The Substance, because every review of it that I've heard has been overwhelmingly enthusiastic in it's hard to call it like approval, because everything that I've heard about it has also talked about it being exceptionally dark, and it feels almost like an honorable mention that, oh, we didn't want to nominate this for Best Motion Picture, but we can't put it in animated or non-English, so we'll stick into musical or comedy, the catch-all. I wouldn't mind Wicked getting it, but I just don't know if it would be like my best musical or comedy of the year. Like, it's no Joker 2.
Oh, that was also out this year. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, real talk, right?
Yes.
I've been going back to the soundtrack for that.
Mm-hmm.
And
for which one, just to be clear?
Joker 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I wanted to hear Gaga sing Close to You, and I realized...
You know what? Fair enough.
The production on that song is not good outside the movie. It only works somewhat in the movie.
I very much agree, and that's one of the things that has me kind of like questioning the overuse of the musical tag. I know so many people kind of pigeonhole it as being that, and it obviously has musical elements to the storytelling, but it feels more like a tool being used to better convey the metaphor of what Arthur is experiencing than a genuine attempt to be a musical outside of a couple of instances.
I would love to. I wish I could have worked on this movie, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm very curious what happened in Joker 2 sometimes. Like, I still like it, but it's just like, man, it could have been tighter. It should have been tighter.
Mm-hmm. That's amusing. So, nominations, just to give a quick recap on them. A Real Pain is the relatively recently released Jesse Eisenberg directorial project.
Okay.
Overwhelmingly positive reception, has Eisenberg both directing and starring, and seems to paint, or I guess maybe not paint, but gives a promising look into Eisenberg as a future director to be aware of, but also highlighted by a standout performance from Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin is just an underrated actor.
Mm-hmm. Anora is one that I don't remember talking about. I think we might have, maybe we looked this one by. It's listed as a American comedy drama, written, directed, and edited by Sean Baker. Very low box office, looks like limited distribution. Compared to the rest, it seems a bit less enthusiastic of reviews surrounding it, but that also could just be some other weirdness going on. I am not familiar with it. Similarly, as I'm not familiar with Challengers. This one released back in April. I do remember seeing reviews for this one going out. Couldn't tell you anything about it at this point.
I know it's the Zendaya tennis threesome movie.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, So here's the weird thing: do people not like Zendaya in this movie? Because I swear, I've been seeing a lot of people just shift opinions on her lately.
Not sure. I mean, the reviews for it seem overwhelmingly positive. I don't see anything related to her specific performances.
I can't tell if it's good old fashioned racism or if it's like an actual opinion. At this point, I'm willing to assume racism.
Something we need to look into at some point is Google reviews of movies. I'm just putting this out there right now because I've never really even like looked at this, let alone given it any consideration. But they're weird,
aren't they? I always thought they were just bots.
I think that's the thing to look into because I would imagine that that is probably the case. So like Google has their stars out of 5 rating system that they use. A quick snapshot into that world. A Real Pain, 3.6 out of 5. Honora, 3.5 out of 5. Challengers, 2.4 out of 5. Amelia Perez, 3.9 out of 5. The Substance, 3.1. And Wicked is at 4.1. And overwhelmingly, for each of these, the vast majority of the reviews are either 5 stars or 1-star reviews. Not much in between. And I'd be curious to see like what is going on here. Is it bots? Is it trolls? Is it people being mad that there's a black woman on the screen in front of them? There's obviously no review or like certification process for leaving a Google review, so the bar is super low and being able to post your unfiltered stupid thoughts. But it's a weird one, especially when you compare it to the like, did users like this movie thing? Like, Challengers, 2.4 out of 5, but 67% of people like the movie. Which seems to indicate to me that it's probably people being botted and trolling, you know? Just making shit up.
Dude, I swear, bots and trolls are just ruining movies for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure CEOs in their small little CEO world see that shit and they think it's actual like opinions.
Curious if you could do something real quick for me.
What's up?
Actually, no, I have Chrome still. On Google's page for Wicked, there's a little witch hat on the bottom of the screen.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm wondering.
Yeah. You're wondering what happens if I click it?
If whatever it's trying to do, or if that's just what it's supposed to do.
Oh my god, it's gonna cause copyright issue. Oh my god.
No, it does the same thing. It just scrambles everything around and has it wiggle around the page.
And it plays Defying Gravity. Now this episode's going to get copyright.
I have... Is it? Wait.
What?
That's really strange. No, I think you're right. It's showing... I don't know why it's not playing audio for me, though. It shows that it's playing some sound, but it's not actually going through my headphones.
That's really weird.
So I thought it was just... Yeah, that's very strange.
Man, you almost got this episode taken down. Damn.
I thought it was... I don't know. Just weird shit. So yeah. Wicked seems like the easy win for that category, for sure. Bit of recency bias there, but it's, you know, by far the most overwhelmingly well received. Best Motion Picture Animated. This is actually a really stacked category this year.
What is it? Spider-Verse? No, Spider-Verse was this year.
Big two are Moana 2 and Inside Out 2, of course. But of the lesser and probably unlikely to win nominees, there's some bangers. The Wild Robot, overwhelmingly positive reviews that I've seen for it. I have yet to find a person who's seen the movie and has a bad thing to say about it. Was it Lupita Nyong'o and Pedro Pascal, I believe, play the leads in it and do a great job. Other nominations include a Wallace and Gromit film, which is pretty cool. Technically, only doesn't come out until January 3rd. What the hell, Golden Globes? You keep doing this shit. But, you know, it's there. It's cool to see.
Well, it was on the
Memoir.
BBC on Christmas.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. That makes some more sense. Memoir of a Snail. One I was not aware of until very recently, but having looked into it, again, overwhelmingly positive reception and flow. I don't know if you've seen any trailers for this one, but it's like a cat and a bunch of animals in like a flood trying to survive together on a boat. And it's kind of silly and obviously fiction, but just beautifully animated and seems to be, again, exceptionally well received.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah, banger of a year for animation. And that's not including stuff like the Transformers movie that obviously isn't going to be put up to quite the same critical muster as some of these are, but still was exceptionally highly rated on its release.
So who are you going to give it to?
I technically have seen none of these. I would like to see it go to The Wild Robot just because I don't want Disney to get it, but Disney's going to Disney.
Disney's going to get it. I'm sorry. Inside Out 2, I've seen it. I feel like that's going to get it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's an unreasonable pick at all.
And then we're never
I guess
going
I would
to
say
get
as
a
long
good
as it
Disney
doesn't
movie
go to
again. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't go to Moana 2. I feel like that would be the come on moment for me. The zeitgeist around it has been practically non-existent from what I've seen.
Moana 2 makes me feel dirty. You know,
Does it?
A little, dude. Like, because let's face it, we all know the story behind its production. It's supposed to be a TV show, and it feels like a TV show.
Mm.
So, like, the idea that it's out there and it's killing it in the box office, I feel a little dirty knowing that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm getting really fed up with the whole pop culture shtick lately. Because I just realized, you know, I have this pile of, like, books mounting on my desk. And, like, when I look at the media that, like, has been my big media of the year, it's all books.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that's more just out of apathy for, like, the politics of, not, like, the woke culture stuff, just, like, you know, the way things have been lately.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Wild Robot should win it, though.
I'd like to see it. It'd be a nice, you know, honoring of the work that they did about it.
Mm-hmm. It also made Disney pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah. Win-win. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama. Angelina Jolie, Maria, Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, Kate Winslet, Lee, Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl, Pamela Anderson, The Last Showgirl, and Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. Strangely, none of those movies are nominated in the main categories. Fernanda Torres has a nominee in the motion picture non-English language category, but the rest are completely separate, which is kind of weird. I don't know if this is just like a thing that the Golden Globes does. As far as I'm aware, that's not really the case. Strangely, it kind of continues in the nominations for male actor in a motion picture drama. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing, Daniel Craig, Queer, Ray Fiennes, Conclave, Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice, and Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown. Again, 3 of those didn't make it onto the top list.
I want Daniel Craig to get it. Yeah.
That'd be very fun. I've heard a ton of really good stuff about Sing Sing, though. So, there's not a ton of, like, bad choices here. None of these stand out as, like, weird selections, though I am realizing that Timothy Chalamet is nominated twice in the Best Motion Picture category for A Complete Unknown and Dune Part 2.
It has been his year, hasn't it? Like, Wonka kind of set him up, like, last year. But this is the
Yeah.
year of like Timothy Chalamet.
It's probably something that is not the most uncommon, but I do wonder how many times in the past you've had an actor nominated in multiple motion pictures for Best Motion Picture in the same year.
I'm sure there's probably an elite club of that.
Do a quick search. See if we come up with anything. Is there actually list of actors nominated? Oh no, not quite. Nominated for multiple Academy Awards in the same year. That's gonna be. Oh, maybe this is different. What is this talking list of? This is just for acting categories. That's actually kind of interesting. So nominations for people who've had both Best Actor or Actress and Best Supporting Actor or Actress.
Okay.
Would you like to take a guess at who the most recent one is? They're from 2019.
2019. Fuck.
Yeah.
Who was big in 2019?
They were pretty big.
Robert Downey Jr.
You're close, but not quite.
Chris Evans?
Scarlett Johansson.
Good for her.
Not any Marvel nominations, though. Was nominated for Best Actress in Marriage Story and Best Supporting Actress in Jojo Rabbit.
I was under the impression it had to be someone from the MCU because, let's face it, the MCU was like the shit back in 2019. So, like, if you were connected to that in any vague way, you automatically had Hollywood mojo.
Okay, here's a good one. This is from a Reddit thread, grain of salt. But somebody asked the question, who has had multiple Oscar nominations or wins for different movies in the same year? Apparently, it's kind of crazy, Steven Soderbergh won the Oscar for Best Director for Traffic in 2001, was also nominated for Aaron Brockovich in the same category and year.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'd imagine the list of people nominated for multiple films within a category is much smaller, but according to one Redditor, the apparent total is about somewhere around 200 times. Most notorious, this is a good one. Makes a lot of sense. Kind of cheating. Best one is John Williams, who has apparently competed against himself 8 different times for Best Original Score. But, like, it's John Williams.
John Williams is the
it
composer of Hollywood.
1977, he won for Star Wars and was nominated for Close Encounters.
Damn.
Very cool stuff. I might look into that a little bit later, but I would be very curious to see what that list looks like within the same category, because that seems like a much more exclusive achievement.
Yeah.
When when you can do best and best supporting. Any particular, other than Daniel Craig, any particular other thoughts? Cool to see Sebastian Stan sort of getting a chance outside of the Marvel stuff. He's a very good actor.
I'm just so hyped for fucking Knives Out 3, like Wake Up Dead Man.
Oh yeah.
I just want Daniel Craig to get like all the love in the world right now because he's going to provide me the best movie of my 2025 life.
Absolutely. Like anything that shows an actor making the jump from something as serialized as the Bond movies or the Marvel movies and being able to get into like a place where they can just be a good actor and show that, always very welcome.
Correct.
All right, we have performances for motion picture, musical, or comedy. Best performance by a female actor, Amy Adams in Night Bitch, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked, Demi Moore, The Substance, Carla Sofia Gascon and Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison, Honora, and Zendaya in Challengers. Cynthia, please.
Cynthia,
I don't think it makes you much more than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
she absolutely steals the show and the lead performance. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy: Gabriel LaBelle, Saturday Night; Glenn Powell, Hitman; Hugh Grant, Heretic; Jesse Eisenberg, Real Pain; Jesse Plemons, Kinds of Kindness; and again, Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. So that's pretty cool. That's another twofer right there. Sebastian Stan for best performance by an actor, drama; best performance by an actor, musical or comedy. Get that bread, Stan. Holy shit. Shout out to Hugh Grant, I think, here, because we haven't really talked about him yet. Heretic also did very well. We talked about this back in October, I want to say. There's very little information on the webpage for you here. But again, heard tons of great things about it when it came out. All right. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture: Ariana Grande, Wicked; Felicity Jones, The Brutalist; Isabella Rossellini, Conclave; Margaret Qualley, The Substance; Selena Gomez, Amelia Perez; Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. I would have to look into the actual story of the movie Amelia Perez. I guess it's because Carlos Sofia Gascon is the lead in that, but just like, I don't know. There must be some industry qualifications for what is a supporting role and what is not. All three of them seem to have relatively equal billing. So, yeah. Best friends by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture: Denzel Washington, Gladiator 2; Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown; Guy Pearce, The Brutalist; Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice; Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain; and Yura Borisov in Anora.
Please give it to Kieran. Please give it to Kieran. Please give it to Kieran. Please give it to Kieran.
Be very cool. Kieran would be awesome. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist would be very cool. I feel like the only one that would really make me go, come on, would be Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2. That is, just in terms of the reception to it, it's obviously a good movie, but it feels like pretty much everything else on this list has received a much higher degree of critical reception. Best Director, Motion Picture: Brady Corbet, Brutalist; Coralie Farge, The Substance; Edward Berger, Conclave; Jacques Audiard, Amelia Perez; Payal Kapadia, All We Imagine as Light; Sean Baker, Anora. Not a ton of bad choices here, honestly.
Yeah.
In terms of direction, I feel like this is probably a shoo-in for Corbet, The Brutalist, just because of, the pretentiousness surrounding it, but also his ability to effectively execute on those pretentious concepts. It's a bit of a shoo-in, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Could just as well see like The Substance or Anora and Amelia Perez have so many nominations in other categories. I could see them sort of passing by in those and have people give sort of like a little bit of a pity vote when it comes to best director, best screenplay.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
And speaking of best screenplay, all of the same except Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain, substituted for Pila Capiata, All We Imagine Is Light. Yeah, very strong core of movies making the nominations this year. Best Original Score, Motion Picture: Clement Ducol and Camille, Amelia Perez, Daniel Blumberg, The Brutalist; Hans Zimmer, Dune Part 2, Chris Bowers, The Wild Robot; Trent Reznor, Atticus Rose, Challenger; and Volker Bertelmann, Conclave.
Give it to Trent.
I don't know. The Dune score goes so hard. I guess that's something that I would want to check. Dune. Did Part 1 win for it? It looks like it did, which is not surprising. So I'm already having to go to someone else. Hans Zimmer had his time to say his thank yous. It's just more of the same, right?
You mentioned him to me, and I just don't want him around.
Best Original Song, Motion Picture: Beautiful That Way from The Last Showgirl, Compress Repress, Challengers, El Mal, Amelia Perez, Forbidden Road, Better Man, Kiss the Sky, The Wild Robot, and Mi Camino, Amelia Perez. Oh, that's very funny. I don't know if I've ever noticed this before, or if this is a new thing. They have a section for cinematic and box office achievement, which seems kind of like just a catch-all for things that did well.
Yeah.
Alien Romulus, Beetlejuice, Deadpool and Wolverine, Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, Twisters, and Wicked. At the same time, though, this is exceptionally recent. If you're just talking cinematic and box office achievement, like, you're not going to put Dune Part 2 on this list instead of, like, Beetlejuice? What the hell is that doing here?
Pity vote.
Apparently.
Because our kids wanted us to put it in there.
Do you want to go through TV series stuff?
Yeah, why not?
Sure, let's go for it. Best TV series drama: The Diplomat, Mr. and Miss Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, Squid Game 2, and The Day of the Jackal.
Not at all what I expected. Why Squid Game 2 there?
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I mean, it had the cultural zeitgeist around it, I suppose. I heard a lot of good stuff about Shogun. So, I guess that. I have heard of the Donald Glover, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Haven't heard anything about its reception. But I guess it's a good sign that it's here.
Yeah, I suppose.
Best TV series, musical or comedy: Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murderers in the Building, and The Gentleman. I feel like this is a pretty easy one for The Bear, honestly. Best television limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television: Baby Reindeer, for Netflix, apparently. I have never heard of that one. Disclaimer: Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, Ripley, The Penguin, and True Detective Night Country.
If The Penguin gets this, I'll be very happy for James Gunn.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't think it will because comic book, but yeah. It'd be very interesting. It'd be a very interesting life we're leading.
Yeah, I've started to watch it, and it's like, it's good, but is it gonna win an Oscar good?
No.
Or sorry, Golden Globe good? I don't think so. It's a bit too fun. It's a weird way to put it, but yeah. Best performance by a female actor in a television series drama: Anna Sawai, Shogun; Emma D'Arcy, House of the Dragon; Kathy Bates, Matlock; Keira Knightley, Black Doves; Kerry Russell, The Diplomat; Maya Erskine, Mr. and Miss Smith. Best performance by an actor in a television series drama: Billy Bob Thornton, Landman; Donald Glover, Mr. and Miss Smith; Eddie Redmayne, The Day of the Jackal; Gary Oldman, Slow Horses; Hiroyuki Sanada, Shogun; Jake Gyllenhaal, Presumed Innocent. Kind of notable here that both Donald Glover and Maya Erskine being nominated for their leading roles in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which was obviously also nominated. Pretty good sign. Donald Glover is also just... seems like he's good at everything he does.
Man's talented. What are you going to do about that?
Has he done Broadway yet? That feels like the last thing that he has to tackle.
Who would he play on Broadway? I'm very curious. What production?
Doesn't look like he's done it yet.
Yet.
One more mountain to climb.
Donnie, I know you're listening. Put some thought. I will support you either way.
Best performance by a female actor in a television series, musical or comedy: Io Edebiri, The Bear; Jean Smart, Hacks; Catherine Hahn, Agatha All Along; Kristen Bell, Nobody Wants This; Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary; Selena Gomez, Only Murderers in the Building.
I've kind of like Only Murders in the Building, so I guess it's Selena Gomez.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about it for sure. I have also heard like of these The Bear, very good reception that I've seen to that, though I don't know how that plays into the individual roles of the people involved with it.
Very
Seems
fair, very
more
fair.
of a like collaborative piece building up to a greater whole than individual performances. But I don't know. Best performance by an actor in a television series, musical or comedy: Adam Brody, Nobody Wants This; Jason Segel, Shrinking; Jeremy Allen White, The Bear; Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building; Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building; Ted Danson, A Man on the Inside.
Steve Martin, I guess.
I would love for either Martin Short or Steve Martin to win and have the other go up and receive their award for them.
Yo, that's something they would do.
That'd be very funny. Like, just go up and pretend to be the other person and,
Yeah.
like, see how long they can pass it off. Best performance by a female actor in a limited series, anthology series, or a motion picture made for television: Kate Blanchett, Disclaimer; Kristen Milioti, The Penguin; Jodie Foster, True Detective, Night Country; Kate Winslet, The Regime; Naomi Watts, Feud, Capote vs. the Swans; Sofia Vergara, Griselda. What is Griselda? That sounds familiar. I don't recognize this. Netflix thing. Of course, everything is a Netflix thing.
Yeah.
Good time as any to talk about the recent Netflix executive leak. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I posted in our chat.
Yeah, where Netflix executives were seen telling their screenwriters to have characters announce what they're doing so that viewers who have a program on in the background can follow along.
I don't like it.
That's extremely dystopian.
Y'all need to just smarten the fuck up already.
Yeah. I do wonder, seeing more and more things like that, I feel like we are rapidly getting to the point of having social media as a whole either outlawed or heavily regulated just as a concept, when people's attention spans have been reduced so much to dust that executives think you need to go to that extreme to keep people paying attention to your shows and not feeling like they're missing out on something. It's just like, it's cooked. We're done.
Seriously, though.
I wouldn't be surprised if we look back on this period of time in the same way that we look back on there being like actual cocaine in pop and that being given as a thing that children would drink.
I'm sorry, Chiral.
It's like, oh yeah, that's messed up.
You called it pop?
Sorry. Soda.
Good
Soda
man.
pop.
Thank you. You're a chemist.
But it is
You
pop.
should identify.
It is pop, and you can take my pop over my cold dead body.
You are a goddamn chemist. You need to call it by its proper name.
I had the pure Michigan experience this last week before the holidays. We had a potluck at my work, and somebody brought in, we all brought in bunches of food and snacks. Some people brought in drinks. There's a 2-liter of orange Faygo that somebody brought, and I am pretty sure that nobody else but me touched it, and I slowly drank the whole thing over the period of a week.
That's really fucking funny.
That's my Michigan showing through. It's just like, orange Faygo? Hell yeah.
Dude, my girlfriend's brother and sister-in-law, Sam's, siblings, they fucking have a whole, like, stash of Faygo. And, like, it's given me, like, a new appreciation, because, like, I don't like soda, but I can deal with Faygo. Faygo I fuck with.
Faygo's good stuff. Faygo's good. I appreciate it's for me. It's like Faygo and was it Doritos are like the two lawful good sodas that exist because they don't try to hide what they are. Right? It's like, yes, this is full of sugar. Yes, it's a carbonated beverage. It's just what it is.
But okay, so I'll give you that. That is true. However, I raise you. They're a lot better about just not shoving in extra shit.
Oh, absolutely.
They
That's
are
true
a
as well.
cleaner taste.
Speaking of, over the holidays, I was making some Christmas cookies as one does, putting some sprinkles on there. I was chatting with my mom about the California law that is outlawing certain food colorings by 2028.
Oh yeah.
We were using just the sprinkles that we had, which were ancient, of course, because who the hell uses that much sprinkles? Like, I assume if you have a household that goes through like a large bottle of sprinkles in any of your household's lifetime, you're either like regularly having company of like 30 plus people or are psychopaths. And there's very little in between. But we have this ancient bottle of red and green Christmas sprinkles, and we're just like, I wonder what food colorings are in this. And we look it over, and it's like, oh yeah, this is literally all of them that they've outlawed.
Oh, that's
They
so
had the
great.
red, the green, and the blue.
Dude, you need to smuggle that shit into California. You're gonna make so much money.
It's crazy. The bottles are literally more than 20 years old, and they haven't clumped at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't know what they put in it. It's probably slowly killing me, but it works.
That doesn't seem like that's natural.
Like, it's mostly sugar, right? It should get wet and clump over time, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't.
It's rice. They put rice in there, and that's taking all the water out.
I did see, what was it? They specifically had it listed as confectionery sugar, and I do wonder if maybe that is like some distinction in like the actual sugar being used that maybe causes it to clump less, but I can't imagine it's that much. I figure there's probably some sort of anti-caking agent in it that is not good. So
Every time you have one of those sprinkles, it takes a little bit of water out of you that you can never rehydrate.
Last Golden Globes category: best performance by a male actor in a limited series, anthology series, or a motion picture made for television. Andrew Scott, Ripley, Colin Farrell, The Penguin, Cooper Koch, Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story, Ewan McGregor, A Gentleman in Moscow, Kevin Kline, Disclaimer, Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer. Would love to see Colin Farrell win for this, just because I don't know how the hell he does this Penguin stuff. It's crazy.
To be honest, it's not even Colin Farrell. That's just the Penguin at this point.
Oh yeah, he's completely made the character himself.
Yeah. Like, dude does not even look the same.
No,
Just
not at
built
all.
different.
Constructed alternatively.
Yeah. You put those two up in a room together, I wouldn't be able to tell who's who.
Rounding out the movie talk, only release for this week that we haven't talked about in the past already, Nosferatu.
More like
The,
Nosferatu.
Robert Eggers. I don't think this is an A24 one. Studio 8. Yeah, it's doing pretty okay. I'm anxious to see some more reviews for it, but the trailers for this looked very interesting. It's got a very fun cast. Where did it go? Nicholas Hoult, Bill Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe. It's like, hell yeah. Willem Dafoe is in a like medieval vampire movie. Inject that into my veins, please.
I mean, 1,000%. But you did not acknowledge my Nosferatu joke.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. I see what you're doing.
Fuck you. That was
Sorry,
funny.
my brain is not quite that rotted yet.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. maybe we need to keep that. Cause I don't think anyone would have thought a joke like that would be possible at the beginning of the year.
Probably not. It's been like has all of the Hawk Tuah stuff happened in the last year?
I want to say yeah, because let's face it, Hawk
God.
Tuah does not have a long shelf life.
Oh, I mean, it's got a long enough shelf life for people to get crypto scammed by it, so I don't even know anymore.
Have you heard she's just like not... Yeah, okay. Viral video emerged on YouTube 2024.
Crazy.
It's got its own Wikipedia page.
I'm not surprised by that. Does it have a tag in the page for the scandal?
No, not yet. Wait, she's got her own page. 1 second. Yes, yes, Me McCoy scandal on her own page.
Excellent.
Haley, if you're listening, feel free to come on the show and talk to us. Huh?
You say that. Have you heard her talk?
She's got a really thick Southern accent.
And an extremely high-pitched voice.
Does she?
Apparently. I've seen very little of anything that she's done voluntarily, but every time I do, I go, wait, that can't be right. Because it's just crazy.
Damn.
Uncharacteristic.
Does she have the Southern version of like those, like trans? It's not really transatlantic, but like the voice I'm thinking of, right? From like Singing in the Rain.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, she lives in Nashville, Tennessee before she was even famous. Fuck you, Haley Welch. If you're living in Nashville, Tennessee already, there's no way you don't already have money.
In other news,
Yes.
we had the House Ethics Report on Matt Gaetz come out.
I honestly didn't think that would happen.
I'm kind of shocked too. I'm glad that it did. Special shout out to the Ethics Committee Chairman Michael Guest for writing a single-page statement to end the report titled, "On behalf of dissenting committee members," saying, quote, "It breaks from the committee's longstanding practice, opens the committee to undue criticism, and will be viewed by some as an attempt to weaponize the committee's process." Fuck you, Michael. Do your job in the first place, and you wouldn't have this problem.
Seriously, though.
It is, like, also, what the hell is it? Is it Garland? The AG?
I think it is Garland.
Yeah, Merrick Garland. How the hell has there not been any charges pushed by this yet?
Because it's Garland.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody knew before this Matt Gaetz was a giant piece of shit. Having it, like, confirmed in a congressional report makes it hit a bit differently, though.
What do you think Matt Gaetz' next move is going to be, besides, running away to an elementary school?
Hopefully slinking into obscurity.
Like, honestly, like, I'm sorry. The fact he got so close to being on Trump's cabinet scares me enough.
As Attorney General?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. We played with fucking fire there.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to touch the MAGA Civil War at all right now?
We probably should in a little bit. I did want to point out specifically, in the report, they say the committee was unable to determine the full extent to which Representative Gaetz' payments to women were compensations for engaging in sexual activity with him. And I'm sorry, is that not the entire point of starting an investigation into these types of pieces of crap? To get the legal authority to do the investigative work that you need to figure those kinds of details out? Like, do your jobs. This is pathetic. This guy's like a serial rapist and sex pest. There is a piece in here from the, let me see if I can find it. Oh, there's a good line in the BBC article I was reading earlier talking about his prolific use of drugs and alcohol in correlation with his having sex with women, where, who is this a quote from? This is just a quote from the report. Quote, "Indeed, nearly every woman that the committee spoke with could not remember the details of at least one or more of the events they attended with Representative Gaetz and attributed that to the drug or alcohol consumption."
Yeah.
Like, what a massive red flag. I hope at the very least that this just hangs around him for the rest of his time, and then he just, at the very least, never gets back into public office. Just, what a piece of shit. So, yeah. The implosion of the right wing, what do you call it? Like, it's really just the social media stuff.
Yeah, like, I feel like MAGA Civil War, as funny as the title as it is,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to actually mean anything unless your name's Elon Musk.
I agree. Or Ramaswamy.
It's far over for him.
Yeah.
He did the one thing you're not supposed to do in America.
Not be white.
No, he talked to white people the way that white people
Oh.
talk to Americans.
Yeah, that's pretty up there.
Yeah. It was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, dude's fucking cooked.
Yeah. Yeah, did it ever really start?
Fuck.
So yeah, can you give me I have a pretty good gist of what's been going on with Musk, but I've been tuned out for a bit. Can you give me the TLDR?
So, I don't know how the conversation got to this, right? But we all know Elon is a chronic attention seeker.
Yeah.
He's a little piss baby that wants everybody to like what he does and get approval on all of his ideas. That's why he doesn't have a PR company, by the way, because that would just make all of his moves that much slower, and he doesn't like that. And he's under the assumption that everybody's just going to like it anyway because it's him. So, Main Character Syndrome announced that his plan, and I don't know the full announcement of his plan, right? But it basically was summarized with, we're going to take American jobs and replace them with Indian immigrants. And, well, do you know what the fascinating thing about Indian people is?
What's that?
The right fucking hates India.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which is whatever. Like, who don't they hate at this point? So, when you have old Elon, Musky Musk over here, fucking announcing his intent to take away American jobs and give them to immigrants of all people, his fan base turned on him right away. And he's gone into nuclear meltdown mode. And Vivek decided, hey, I need to back up my homeboy here. And he did the cardinal sin of Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. And he's basically gone on record saying that Americans are stupid and he wants cheap labor.
Absolutely. Apparently, Trump has come out and said something publicly in support of Elon's statements on H-1B visas. So we'll see how this goes. I won't be surprised, and it will be very funny to watch the people who were arguing with Elon not 48 hours ago do an immediate 180 on it.
I mean, I kind of suspect that's what's going to happen, but at the same time, the damage is done. Elon's been like on nuclear like lockdown mode. He's taking away people's like he's using his admin privileges, bro. He's like going full Discord mod, and this made me realize that Twitter is just his fucking Discord server at this point. Cause he's over here banning people. He's taking away verification. Not verification, their blue check marks that they pay $8 for.
Mm-hmm.
Man is destroying people the only way he knows how. And they don't like it.
Yeah, it is. I don't. Deserves a breakdown by someone more, psychologically trained than me. But there has to be a fascinating video to be made on the psychological aspect of the blue checkmark crap.
What is there to even say about it? It's just basically buying like your own vindication.
Oh, for sure. But how it started as a genuine sort of status symbol,
Oh yeah.
right? And just how it is, or I guess maybe why it is that certain uh, groups of people are more strongly swayed, I guess, by having access to that symbol.
Fair, 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 fair.
Yeah.
What else do we have on the agenda?
Uh, so Russia shot down a plane again.
Russia does the darndest things.
Yeah. Azerbaijan Airlines flight J28243 was shot down on Christmas Day, killing all people on board. Plane was due to land in Russia, crash landed in Kazakhstan. Officially, circumstances around the crash remain unclear, but it seems extremely likely from images taken by people on the ground that the plane was damaged by some sort of debris from Russian air defense systems.
I hope someone got fired for that one.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
If you remember back, and I'm curious to see how long it takes. I'm a little bit more optimistic given that we're 3 days out now and it hasn't gone into full swing yet. And I guess partially because this is an Azerbaijan plane, maybe that has to do with it, just given the nationalities involved. But the circumstances surrounding this are eerily similar to what started with the Russian invasion of Crimea back in 2014, 2012, whenever that was, when a plane was shot down in Ukraine in an act that Russians claimed was done by Ukrainians, but was eventually proven to be done by Russia themselves, and was in part used for the increased mobilization of the Russian military into the Crimean Peninsula. So they have a history of this, to say the very least.
I really have nothing else to say. That's just fucking tragic.
Yeah, there's not much more. Apparently, Putin gave an apology without saying any statement of Russia potentially being at fault, but like,
Sorry for your loss.
not like that means much of anything at this point, you know?
Oh, totally.
Last piece of sort of real news I have, and this is just a brief one. Luigi Mangione has officially filed a not guilty plea to the charges filed against him in New York.
Bold. Very bold.
No one saw this coming.
Yeah. Slay, King.
As things progress, we will obviously be continuing to follow it, and we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see, right? As publicly as everything has happened so far, I'll be shocked if they suddenly stop mass broadcasting everything related to this case, but it seems like it's, already shaping up to be, the case of the next year.
I'm a little excited for it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, full disclosure, like, I don't kind of care either way because either he's innocent, and quite frankly, that's the justice system doing its damn job, or he's guilty, and quite frankly, a murder's a murder, and I can't just make exceptions on that.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I think if they can prove, if they can prove without a reason, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Mangione was the one who committed the crime, and particularly if they can demonstrate the politically, or I guess maybe socially motivated aspects of it, then yeah, I mean, that's just fair play. You know, if you want to be a terrorist, you go all the way, kind of. Right now, the only real problem that I see involved in this is the media just BS that the NYPD has decided to drum up. It's very strange and unnecessary, to say the least.
I think it's already been mishandled terribly.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, the if I was the NYPD, I would try to keep this out of the press at all costs. But I feel like
You
they've
would
been leaning
think.
into it. Yeah.
Oh, they absolutely are. They are trying to make an example.
No, don't just make an example. Just like make it boring. You know, you're
Hmm.
supplementing the idea into a lot of people's heads, and no matter what happens, there's already been copycats. Like I don't know if you heard
Hmm.
about that guy in Muskegon that like shanked his CEO.
Uh, I think it remains to be seen if that's a copycat. Um,
Fair.
Reporting that I heard around it sounded like it could just be a, this is a very American thing to say, a run of the mill office violence situation.
God damn.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the entire handling of the situation is highly politically motivated with regard to the NYPD, bending over backwards to appeal to the elites of New York and the United States as a whole. So very much trying to make an example.
Well, they have a lot to lose from this because, like, quite frankly, New York is a hot like a big economic place, the hot button place. You see, this is why we don't
Yeah.
do shows at night. I'm very tired, and I lose my ability to fucking speak when I'm tired.
It's
But
tricky.
it's very tricky, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They risk a lot if this goes off and they start getting people flying the coop out of NYC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think they care though. Like this is, I don't know. We'll have to see and look back on hindsight, but I will not be surprised if this marks an inflection point in just the general handling, not the handling, public perception around the perceptions of class warfare, right? Because that's all that this is. If the police and the people running these companies were acting rationally, they absolutely should be trying to make as little noise as possible just to sweep this under the rug.
Yeah.
But the fact that they aren't very clearly shows that they think they can do this and get away with it, right?
Mm-hmm. It is one of those things where everything involved in this, I hate saying it is class warfare because it's like the number seven, like 7, 8, 9. They're not that far away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a very different story if this was literally just like Joe Schmo down in Queens coming down all the way to shoot this guy.
I don't know. I
No.
would hope that we'll be able to get more definitive answers as the trial proceeds.
Fair.
It's going to be very fascinating as well if just what the state prosecution's case is able to prove.
I don't feel like they have really much. They've got like all this situational evidence at the time, but
Yep.
there's a big window between those 5 days where the incident happened, and then Luigi's in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. And they can pretty definitively prove that Luigi was in New York, but proving that he was in New York versus proving that he was the one pulling the trigger are very different things.
Very true. Any other thoughts for the people at home, Mr. Chiral?
That's kind of where I am right now.
Fair. Kind of where I'm at too. Happy New Year to everybody at home. Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus. Am I missing anything?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Are you? This determines how woke you are.
Yeah, quite frankly.
This is the test.
Happy holidays is for cowards. You wish everybody an individual happy holiday at one at a time.
Oh, you're a liberal? Name every holiday.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Leaf Miss Orion, and this has been 2024.
And I'm Chiral. And I've been a Schmo.
Whoa.